You know that feeling, right? When you're at a show and the band just clicks. It's not just music anymore, it feels like this single living thing up on stage. It's electric, it's powerful. It honestly feels like magic. But what if I told you it's not magic at all? It's science. I mean, it's a question we've all asked ourselves, hasn't it? How can one band sound like this absolute force of nature, just perfectly in sync, while the next one, well, they just sound like four people arguing in a really loud room? The answer, it turns out, is buried in this hidden system of physics, psychology, and even philosophy. So, to really get this, we have to kind of shift our perspective. We need a totally new way to look at it. Stop thinking of a band as four separate people. Instead, I want you to picture them as one single thing, a self-sustaining system. Kind of like that ancient symbol of the serpent eating its own tail, the Ouroboros. And that brings us to the core idea here, Ouroboros music theory, or OMT for short. It basically defines a band as a closed loop. See the drummer's beat? That's the bassist's input. The bassist's groove? That's the guitarist's input. And on it goes. It's this constant looping cycle of energy, a completely self-contained sonic universe. Okay, but for this whole system to actually work, the band has to win two very different kinds of battles. Welcome to the sonic battlefield. All right, battle number one is all conceptual. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got the song as it exists on paper. Perfect, clean, unchanging. That's its static nature. But on the other side, you have the dynamic nature of it, the messy, human, beautifully flawed performance. And a truly great band, they live in the tension right between those two things. That's where the magic happens. The second conflict is way more physical. It's a straight-up fight for space. See, the range of human hearing, from that deep chest-thumping rumble all the way up to the highest sizzle of a cymbal, that's it. It's a limited resource. Every single instrument needs to carve out its own territory. And if they start stepping on each other's toes, well, it's an absolute disaster. And this is basically the map of that battlefield. The OMT frequency matrix. You can see how each instrument has its own little pocket, its own frequency zone where it's supposed to live. But look closely. See that overlap between the kick drum and the bass guitar? Right down there in that 40 to 80 hertz range? That spot right there is the entire foundation of the song. It's also the most dangerous place on the whole map. So what happens when that conflict zone isn't managed? You get mud. Ugh, we've all heard it. It's that blurry, undefined mess at the low end of a bad mix, or you literally can't tell where the kick drum stops and the bass starts. It's just sonic mush, and it is the number one enemy of a clear, powerful sound. So, how do the great bands avoid the mud? How do they win on this battlefield? Well, Ouroboros music theory gives them a strategy. It's like an arsenal with four main weapons, four pillars they can use to create order out of all that potential chaos. And here they are: symmetry, balance, unity, and paradox. Let's start with symmetry. This is all about creating order and predictable patterns. It's the drummer laying down a solid, repeatable beat. Or think about this. When a bass player hits the root note of a chord and the guitarist plays the other notes, they're not two separate things anymore. They lock together to form this one giant meta instrument that's perfectly balanced. That's what makes a band sound so tight. Pillar number 2 is balance. This is basically the art of playing well with others. And you know what? Sometimes the most powerful, most important thing a musician can do is stop playing. Seriously, balance is all about subtractive arrangement. It's about leaving things out, carving out space so that every part, especially the vocals, has its own spot to shine. Then we get to unity. Oh man, this is the holy grail. This is what musicians call the pocket. It's that almost mystical moment where the drummer and bassist just lock in. They stop being two people playing to their own internal clocks and they surrender to this one single shared groove. And when that happens, the kick and the bass literally fuse together into one massive sound. That's the bottom end. And our fourth and final pillar is paradox. This is my favorite one. This is where the band throws in a little bit of controlled chaos. It's the raw, distorted guitar solo over a super clean rhythm section. It's that bit of creative friction that adds all the grit, the emotion, the humanity. It's what keeps a perfectly tight band from sounding like a sterile, boring robot. So we've got our 4 pillars. Now let's connect these big ideas to the actual musicians on stage, the 4 heads of our sonic serpent. First step, the drummer. They're the system architect. Everything starts with them. Their static job is to lay down the grid, the tempo, the time signature, but their real magic, their dynamic job, is to add the feel. That means playing just a tiny bit ahead of the beat or lagging just behind it. And think about this. They control the entire band's energy level just by deciding whether to hit a closed hi-hat or an open one. That's power. Next, the bassist. They're the bridge, the absolute crucial link between the drummer's rhythm and the guitarist's chords. Their main job is to lock in with that kick drum and really define the one, that first beat that anchors the whole song. But here's their secret weapon. A bassist can change one single note and in doing so change the entire emotional feeling of a chord, from happy to sad. It's incredible hidden control. Then you've got the guitarist, the texture architect. They live in that super crowded mid-range territory. Their job is to act like sonic glue, connecting the deep bass with the higher-end vocals and cymbals. But to do that, they have to be a total chameleon. They're constantly shifting their sound, managing their frequencies, all to make sure they're not fighting with the bass below them or the singer above them. And finally, we have the singer, the spirit. Let's be honest, they're the whole reason the song even exists. They provide the story, the emotional core. In a great band, everything serves the vocal. The entire band's dynamics, their volume, their intensity, it's all designed to follow the singer. When the singer whispers, the band gets quiet. When the singer screams, the band explodes right along with them. Okay, so what's the point of all this? Why go to all this trouble to master such a complex system? Well, the answer lies in what happens when that incredible energy loop finally breaks free from the stage. You see, the ultimate goal isn't just technical perfection. It's not about hitting every note perfectly. It's about creating something much, much bigger, something sociologists actually have a name for: collective effervescence. This is that moment. It's when that cosmic loop of energy flowing between the musicians on stage gets so strong that it expands outward and pulls the entire audience right into it. The band throws energy out to the crowd catches it, amplifies it, and throws it right back. The band feeds off that energy and plays even harder. It becomes this incredible, powerful feedback loop. And that is the end game. That's what it's all about. All the physics, the theory, the endless hours of practice, that fight for frequencies, the hunt for the pocket. Every single bit of it serves one and only one purpose: to unite every single person in that room in one powerful shared experience. So the next time you're at a show and you get those goosebumps, you'll know why. You'll know it's not just 4 people playing a song. It's a perfectly balanced, self-sustaining system that has become so powerful it's pulled you into its orbit. So, tell me, will you ever listen to a band the same way again?